Hi everyone, a very warm welcome back to MEC-TEC. We're back in the wilds of Norfolk today, as you can see, and for those of you who don't know, this is my dad's 1972 Dolomite, Triumph Dolomite 1850 Auto. We're going to be doing some work on this one today. We're going to basically do a full refresh of the ignition system, which is new coil, new leads, new plugs, new complete distributor, points and everything inside, condenser and whatever else. And we're also going to be fitting a new electronic ignition module on it as well, to obviously go with all that to make it a little bit more reliable when it's starting, obviously from cold and stuff like that. Just give it a little bit of a boost on the spark side of things. So we've got a complete kit to go in this. That's going to be today's job. But while we're here, I just thought I'd give you an update on the old Cav. As you can see, it's still sitting here with its odd colour bonnet on it and whatever else. And obviously, if you've seen the Cavalier video from when I did it the first time, you would have seen me pulling the front end out to a point to try and get it back on the road to get it home again so I can do it all properly. In the meantime, the MOT's run out on it. So unfortunately that's not going to work now. I'm going to have to obviously get it home on a trailer and get it repaired and do it all in one go, if that makes sense. So my old mate Dan's going to help me out with that. He's got a trailer that we can borrow, and we're going to trailer it back home. Once I've got a couple more of the projects at home sorted out, and obviously then we can go ahead and replace that top slam panel. We're probably going to replace the lower one as well and the cross member. That'll all be renewed in one go, and we won't have to worry about putting it back together, taking it apart and putting it back together again, if that makes sense. So that is a little update on the Cavalier while I'm here. Hopefully you'll obviously bear with me on that one, because I know it's taken a while. I have got the top slam panel already so far, a genuine Vauxhall one. I need to get the lower two panels. They are available on eBay, genuine ones as well, so I'm going to try and get the genuine ones of those as well. So yeah, that is a little update on that. Bear with me on it. I'm obviously trying to work through the jobs on the cars I've got down at home at the moment, and then once I've got a bit of room to bring it back down, then we can obviously crack on with that. So let's start. I won't stop. I'm waffling. I'll stop waffling. Let's crack on with the job in hand, which is getting the Triumph done today, and go from there. Right, under the bonnet, as you can see, we've got the distributor cap off already, just to sort of get a bit of access. Now the distributor is nestled in there, and it's a right pain to get to. You've got to go through the gap in this inlet manifold there to get to one bolt that holds it on, and you've got to go in from this side over here to get the other bolt to obviously get that out. Now there's not actually anything wrong with this distributor, but Dad bought a new one a long while ago, and to get his core charge back we've got to send the old one back. So we're going to fit the new one, along with, obviously it's got all new points and everything already inside it, and a new rotor arm and everything, because Dad's had this car, how long did it,
21 years.
21 years, and he's never actually touched any of this. So there's the old rotor. You can see it's a little bit worn, not too bad really, but we're going to change it out for a new one anyway. So first job is we're going to get the car put on top dead centre. We've got to pop this rocker cover off, line it up with the marks, and then we can obviously get this unbolted, which is probably going to take a little while because it's very fiddly. Take that out, and then we can get the new one put in. So we'll get this rocker cover off and I'll show you the marks once we've got it all set top dead centre. Right, we've spent a bit of time getting this onto top dead centre. As you can see, we've got the cam cover off there, and the book states that the first two cam lobes on valves, on the first two valves, have to be facing up, which as you can see they are. So the points of the lobes are both in the air, which means that they're not engaging with the rockers and the valves underneath. And also you can see down here, if I zoom in down there, you'll be able to see on that front crank pulley the two white marks line up with the gauge on the actual engine block there. So we are confident that we're at top dead centre on a compression stroke, which means now we can start getting that distributor unbolted. Now I'm going to try and scribe a little mark around the bolts if I can before I take it off, just so we can get a rough idea of where it's got to go back to. There isn't loads of adjustment, but obviously it just aids things. So there's not a lot to see in here. As I say, you can't really see. Let me just see if I can zoom in on the bolt that I've got to try and get to. Hang on, it's somewhere in there. Just about to see it. There you go. That's the bolt I've got to get to, and it's very tricky. So I'm going to get in there, and obviously the one on the other side is the same. It's just about about here. So we'll get that unbolted, and then we'll go from there and come back to you. Right, there we go. Got the old distributor out, as you can see there. There's not actually anything wrong with this, but it is 51 years old. Yeah. So, and it's, we think
51,000 miles.
51,000 miles. So it's not obviously mega warm, but we've got a nice new refurbished one in the box there. So we're gonna get that one put back in the hole, it'll be a reverse of what I've just done. As you can see now, those bolts that I've just taken off are on like elongated holes. You can see down there. So that's obviously what gives you your adjustment for your timing. So we'll try and get that back into time now, and obviously get it all running again. So before we do anything else, we're going to get this new one put back in and then start it again and see if it works. So we don't want to do anything else to it before we know it's running again, otherwise we won't know where to look for the problem. So I'll get the new one put in and we'll come back to you. Right, as you can see there, we've got the new distributor screwed or bolted down. We did have a bit of an issue with that because it didn't come with an O-ring on the new one, and the old one was so perished we had to go on a hunt to find a new one at the shop. So we've got a new one of them on there now. Dad's just started unbolting this coil. Also got a new coil to go on there as well. We put a new, where's it gone? The wire here, we put a new spade terminal on the end of that. And the way you time this up is you get that front crank pulley on 24 degrees before top dead center, and you take the lead, the small lead from the distributor, connect that to the battery via a bulb or via a multimeter. We used a multimeter, and then you rotate the engine. That's right, isn't it? Engine, yeah. You rotate the engine to 11 degrees before top dead center, and at that point the light or the meter should read 0, and obviously if you're using a light bulb it will go out. If you're using a meter it will read 0, and that is how you know you've got it in time according to the book anyway. Obviously we put this distributor back in the same orientation as the old one came out, so it was approximately right, with the rotor arm facing number 1 cylinder. So you can see that that's facing that over there, and it does appear to be in spec. So we're just going to swap over this coil now because we had to crimp a new end on this wire which is different to the old one. So we're going to swap the coil over at the same time, and then we're going to go for a start and just make sure that it still runs all right, and then we can swap the leads and plugs over, and that should give the whole ignition system a full refresh. Oh, we've got to do electronic ignition on it, but we're not sure whether we're going to do that today or tomorrow, so we'll come back to you in a minute once we've got this swapped over. Got the new one there, look, Dad's holding that. Nice new ballast resistor on top of it as well, so we'll get all that put on there and that'll be absolutely marvellous. Let's carry on. Right, here we go. We're going to go for a first start and see what happens. Hopefully it'll run. Oh, on the button. That can't be bad, can it? Cool. That was lovely. We must have got the timing right. Is that a little bit of choke, is it? Cool. That sounds sweet as a nut, that engine, doesn't it? Sounds sweet, doesn't it? Oh, what happened there? Not enough choke. Seems good, doesn't it? Well, I reckon that's we was a bit worried we didn't get the timing quite right, but by the seems of it, the way that's starting up and running, it's absolutely lovely. Top banana. Right, we're going to shut this back off and probably change the plugs and leads now. Right, after that success, we've got a nice new set of spark plugs to go in there now as well, and we've got a new set of leads. These all came from Rimmer Brothers, that was right, wasn't it? Yeah, so got a complete set of leads there, including the King lead. So I'm going to buzz these plugs out, get them swapped over. These ones that are in there, I've been in there a little while, they're not that old, but we're going to change them just so that it's all refreshed and brand new, and hopefully it'll be nice and trouble free. So we'll get these done, and then we'll move on to the next job. Top banana. Right, there we go, we've got new spark plugs on there, new leads on there. I forgot to hit the time lapse button when I put the leads on, but obviously that's pretty self-explanatory. I was just replacing one for the other. As you can see, it's all running nice. Everything I wasn't so sure about was this cap was a little bit loose on the distributor. It's a new cap obviously, but it seems to be running okay, so we'll obviously see how it goes and obviously change it back to the old one if we need to, but at the moment it seems to be running alright. So that is the ignition system sort of refreshed as such. The only thing we've got left to do now which I'm not sure whether we're going to get time to do in this video or not. Which we're going to try and do is, we've got an electronic ignition module to go on, which lowers the voltage for the points. So it still uses the points, but it lowers the voltage to them, so they stop them burning out so quick, or getting a build up on one side or whatever, you know. So that's going to be something we're going to wire in, possibly in this video as well. So we're running out of time today because we're it's getting towards the evening. We're going out for a meal, so we're going to go and do that, and then we'll be back with you probably in the morning. Right, it's the next morning, and we're going to go ahead and get this spark ignition system fitted. Now, it does use the original points and condenser. The way it works is it reduces the power going through the points and condenser so that it doesn't build up a mound on the points, and it obviously is a bit kinder to them as such. It can be switched on and off at any point, so if it does go wrong, you just switch it off and you go back to the normal system again, but you must do that when the engine is off. So I just thought I'd show you, this is what you get in. Obviously this box is empty now. This is what you get in the box. You get the little box of tricks with the wiring, you get the little hoop and spade terminals to fit onto there, and obviously the instructions of how to fit it. So we're going to have a little look at this to see how we need to wire it in, and then we've got to find a suitable location for it in the engine bay to obviously secure it to, and then that should be good to go. So we're going to have a little look at this. I'll just go slightly closer on here, so if you want to pause the video, you can read that yourself and you can see exactly how it works. I'll just gradually move down, you'll be able to sort of pause it and read it as you go along if you want to. There you go, you should be able to read all that. So we're going to have a little look and see where we've got to mount it and what we've got to do, and go from there, and we'll come back to you. Right, we've had a little look around, and we've got this original earth strap here, which we've taken the bolt out of, and we've actually found a longer bolt that fits in the imperial thread, absolutely perfect, so that's good. And we're going to bolt the new unit. It's only got one fixing on it. We're going to bolt that to that original earth, and we're going to run the earth wire from this to that earth as well, so it's all sort of neat and in the same place. Get that bolted on there. We're going to cut this wire down obviously and crimp it on. As I say, we've got a hoop crimp to go on there to bolt it onto the same bolt, so it's got a good earth right next to where it is. And then we need to wire in these other three wires, the black, red and blue, which we'll come to in a minute once we've got this bolted on. So it should be nice and neat, hopefully, and then we haven't had to drill any new holes in the bodywork, which is good, because obviously otherwise you're introducing sort of new rust and things into bodywork and whatever. If you drill new holes, you can see that's an original hole. It's a bit manky on the paintwork, but that doesn't matter. As long as it's a good earth, it doesn't matter. So we'll get that bolted on and we'll show you where we're at in a minute. Right, we've got this put in, as you can see. Now I've done a little bit of taping on the wiring. I've got to do this last little bit, but we want to test it first. Now it's got a switch on the side here, and it should show a green LED for power, and then when the engine is running it should change to red. Not got anything at the moment, have you? Go on then. Got a flashing red, is that right? Flashing red, I think. It's running. So you can see there we've got a flashing red ignition light. I don't know whether that's correct or not. I'm just going to go and get the instructions, and then I'll come back to you and then we'll let you know. Right, we had a look at the instructions, and if we rev the, go on Dad, rev it up. See, it goes to more of a solid colour. It shows like it's flashing in the camera, but it is actually solid now in real life. That's obviously to do with where the engine's running. Obviously the speed of it will affect that little light, but there you go. I know it shows it flashing on camera, but it's 100% solid in real life now. So it looks like that's working alright. That's absolutely superb, so that's good. We can get the rest of those wires taped up and make it all look nice and neat, and then that should be job done. Top banana. Right, there we go. As you can see there, got the module on the side there. We've got all the wires taped up nice and neat. We've also got them cable tied. I've cable tied it to this throttle cable down here just to hold it away from the engine over there. It looks mega nice and neat and tidy. It's all working, so that is absolutely superb. Dad seems to think that it runs better on tick over now we've fitted that box, so that's obviously a good thing. Maybe it won't need as much choke when it's cold in the future, so that's always a bonus. Keep it running a bit nicer. So that is the ignition system basically all renewed now. we can't do any more with that. That's absolutely superb, and it's gone a lot better than we thought it would, which is always a nice bonus. Lovely jubbly. Right, I just thought I'd show you, this car is 51 years old now, and it's done 51,000 miles. So it's effectively done 1,000 miles just over for every year of its life. So it's not done many really. I think, what was it when you got it, 40? What was the mileage when you got the car, 40?
48.
48 when Dad got it. So in how long? In 21 years he's only done 4,000 miles. That's why the cap and the rotor and the spark plugs have all lasted so long. Just thought I'd put that bit in the video so you knew. There we go. As I just showed you, it's all sorted. Obviously this is from the other side now. We're all done. Right then, that is going to be it for this episode on MEC-TEC. I think that is mission accomplished on the old Triumph. We've got everything that we set out to do done, so that is really, really good. The only other job we've got to do on this in future is we may be transferring this back to a mechanical fuel pump again. It's running on an electric one at the moment. It's been in there probably ever since Dad's owned it, 20 odd years, and it's sounding a bit ropey now, so we may be transferring back to a mechanical fuel pump, but we need to renew that, which is why the electric one was put in there in the first place, if that makes sense. So that is probably going to be a future video on this to change that. There's not much else that we've got to do on this at the moment, so I may film that or may just do that off camera. Obviously I gave you an update right at the beginning of the video about the Cavalier, so please bear with me on that. It will be coming up hopefully fairly soon once I've got a few more jobs sorted out at home. Obviously make sure you look me up on Instagram. I've got MEC_TEC 1985, and I have got as Facebook MEC-TEC for little sneak peeks during the week of what I'm up to. And all that is left for me to say is thank you very much for watching, and if you want to join me soon for more automotive adventures, I'll see you again next time. Cheers guys.